Welcome to Gummy Island, everybody. Let's watch an example of the bottleneck effect occur on the Isle of Gum. Here's an introduction to the gummy populations. You can pause this portion of the presentation at any point to record how many there are of each species. You'll need to record that data in your data table for your initial populations. We're going to watch a short introductory video to the gummies and their names. You should have recorded how many you have of each species in the initial population for your data table on your lab sheet. Now it's time for the disasters portion of the lab to begin. There's going to be 4 disasters that occur on the island. You're going to need to record the name of the disaster. The first disaster are gale force winds. That's going to be collected in your data table as well. And then after each disaster, you're going to record how many individuals remain in each population. I will show you how many have died. You're going to subtract those from your number of populations that you began with, and you'll continue that as we go through each 4 disasters. So you'll have initial population, and then you'll see a decrease in numbers as we go through each disaster. Here's the first disaster, gale force winds. Here are the deaths due to the high winds. You're going to want to take these colors here. So these are clearathol, that's the 9. I know they look yellow, but they're clear. These are yellowthol, and these are greenathol, and that's what you're going to subtract from your initial populations. No redathol and no orangeathol were killed by the gale force winds. So you can pause this here and subtract those numbers from your initial populations. Again, these are clearathol, yellowathol, and greenathol. The second disaster after the gale force winds from the tsunami is a hailstorm. Any of the gummies knocked over by the giant hail would be considered gone. Here are the gummies lost due to the giant hail. There were 2 clearathol, 7 yellowathol, and 2 redathol. You could pause here and subtract from the population size that was remaining after the gale force winds. So these numbers should be decreasing as you lose individuals due to the deaths. Disaster 3, a wall of water. The tsunami has reached the shore of Gummy Isle, and with it brings a giant water wall. Any gummies hit by the sea foam are considered lost. Here are the casualties from the wall of water. It looked like many more than this, but actually only 2 gummy clearathols were hit by the water, 3 gummy greenathols, 4 gummy yellowathols, and 4 gummy redathols. So you're going to want to pause and subtract these numbers before you go to the next and final round of population. So these are going to be subtracted from the ones that survived from the hail, okay? And then with those numbers, you're going to have your final population size to survive the last event happening on Gummy Island. And this last disaster, as if there wasn't enough chaos on the island, is a volcanic eruption. Mount Huron is erupting and any gummies hit by the molten lava are gone. Let's watch. So here are the deaths from the final disaster. 3 gummy redathols were lost, 7 gummy orangeathols, not all the orangeathols, but several of them, 2 greenathols, 1 clearathol, and 1 yellowathol. You're going to take this information now. Well, there's the survivors. Let's give them a shout out since they have high fitness. They survived all the disasters. You can see some trends here. The most survivors were the orangeathol. They survived the majority of the disasters. Then we had greenathol that were in the forests. Yellowathol on the beach, redathol in the meadow were pretty even, and then clearathol being in the water that did not seem to bring, did not possess a high adaptation or high fitness level for that adaptation based on the events that happened. So this is what you want to consider in terms of your questions that you're going to answer later as we analyze our data. So that's the end of the data collection portion. You're going to finish your table. Make sure you recorded your disaster types. Those were gale force winds, giant hail, water wall, and volcanic eruption. We're going to graph this information as a line graph with different colors to represent the different populations, and then we're going to assess that data, and based on who the survivors were, we'll be able to answer our questions. So that's where we're going next with this. I hope you guys enjoyed that procedure portion.